This could be fun. We're going to open the Bible to a random page, and we're going to talk about whatever we land on. So, random page, not looking necessarily. We landed in Jeremiah chapter 44. The word that came to Jeremiah for all the Jews living in the land of Egypt, those who were living in Migdol, Taphineus, Memphis, and the land of Pathros, saying, "Thus says Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel. You yourselves have seen all the evil that I have brought on Jerusalem and all the cities of Judah. And behold, this day they are a waste place, and no one lives in them, because of their evil which they did so as to provoke me to anger by continuing to burn incense and to serve other gods whom they have not known, neither they, you, nor your fathers. Yet I sent you all my slaves and prophets rising up early and sending, saying, Oh, do not do this abominable thing which I hate. They did not listen or incline their ears to turn from their evil so as not to burn incense to other gods." See, this is perfect timing because I've been talking a little bit over on X about how God hates every false religion, and randomly turning to Jeremiah 44, he is literally talking about false religions and God expressing that he hates them. False religions, worshiping other gods. There's a reason why both the first and second commandments of the 10 Commandments are literally in regards to idolatry. It is in regards to having false gods. It is in regards to having false religions that worship something that is not Yahweh. And so many times we even have religions nowadays that claim to be Christian. Mormonism, which tried to separate itself from Christianity for the first 100 years of its existence, is now trying to cling to Christianity, claiming to be part of Christianity. This is the best way that Satan is able to deceive people, by quite literally creating these false religions, pretending that they are Christian, pretending that they're the same. That way people get confused and they will follow Satan rather than follow God. See, the reason why God hates idolatry so much, hates false religions, is because anything that's not worshiping him is worshiping a demon. That's prevalent through Deuteronomy 32, Psalm 106, 1 Corinthians 10. It is very plainly written throughout all of Scripture that every time you're worshiping anything besides God, including God's creation, so if you're worshiping the creature rather than the creator, you are worshiping a demon as a byproduct, because it is you giving glory to something that is not God. And God absolutely hates and detests it. Continuing in verse 6, "Therefore my wrath and my anger were poured out and burned in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, so they have become a waste place and a desolation as it is this day. So now, thus says Yahweh, the God of hosts, the God of Israel, why are you doing great evil against yourselves, so as to cut off from you man and woman, infant and nursing baby from among Judah, leaving yourselves without remnant, provoking me to anger with the works of your hands, burning incense to other gods in the land of Egypt, where you are entering to sojourn, so that you might be cut off and become an imprecation and a reproach among all the nations of the earth. Have you forgotten the evil of your fathers, the evil of the kings of Judah, and the evil of their wives, your own evil, and the evil of your wives, which they did in the land of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? But they have not become contrite even to this day, nor have they feared nor walked in my law or my statutes, which I have put before you and before your fathers. Therefore, thus says Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I am going to set my face against you for your evil demise, even to cut off all Judah. And I will take away the remnant of Judah, who have set their face on entering the land of Egypt to sojourn there, and they will all meet their end in the land of Egypt. They will fall by the sword and meet their end by famine. Both small and great will die by the sword and famine. They will become a curse, an object of horror, an imprecation, and a reproach. And I will punish those who live in the land of Egypt, as I have punished Jerusalem, with the sword, with famine, and with pestilence. So there will be no one who escapes, or any survivors for the remnant of Judah who have entered the land of Egypt to sojourn there, and then to return to the land of Judah, to which they are longing. Then all the men who knew that their wives were burning incense to other gods, along with the women who were standing by as a large assembly, including all the people who were living in Pathros in the land of Egypt, answered to Jeremiah, saying, saying, as for the message that you have spoken to us in the name of Yahweh, we are not going to listen to you, but rather we will certainly carry out every word that has proceeded from our mouths by burning incense to the Queen of Heaven and pouring out drink offerings to her, just as we ourselves, our fathers, our kings, and our princes did in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then we had plenty of food and were well off and saw no evil. But since we stopped burning incense to the Queen of Heaven and pouring out offerings to her, we have lacked everything and have met our end by the sword and famine. And, said the women, when we were burning incense to the Queen of Heaven and were pouring out drink offerings to her, was it without our husbands that we made for her sacrificial cakes in her image and poured out drink offerings to her? The Queen of Heaven only exists in the Bible when referencing a demon. And notice how they're venerating this Queen of Heaven. They're burning incense to her, creating food offerings for her, calling her the Queen of Heaven. So if you want to have an idea of what religions are kind of being foreshadowed here, as well as the actual one that was being condemned, think about any religion that is referencing a Queen of Heaven and then immediately get out of that false religion. We are saved by grace alone, through faith alone, in Christ alone, for the glory of God alone. Trust in Him and Him alone.